here we go, giving this first try. Gonna try a vlog today. Gonna title this video Introduction. Basically, who am I and what do I do? What I do in this place that I live. My name is Jared Abeda. I live in New Mexico, and I live in a small village known as Isleta. Basically, if you've ever been to New Mexico, the capital of our state is Santa Fe, but the biggest city is Albuquerque. And about 15 miles south of there's a Pueblo, a Native American tribe known as Isleta, and that's where I'm from. I'm 50% Native, and then the other 50% is Hispanic. So basically what I do, I'm a part-time student, go down to the University of New Mexico Valencia campus, which is another city/town, I guess now. It used to be like a village, but like now it's grown in the past couple years. I go down to Los Lunas, which is again another 15 miles south of where I live. And I was originally going to the Institute of Mining and Technology, also known as New Mexico Tech, which is down in Socorro, which is even farther south. And so I was originally going for computer science, with the intent of gaining computer programming knowledge to eventually lead to game design, video game design specifically. That changed for me after the first semester, realizing that the computer programming that New Mexico Tech offers isn't what the programming in video game design is. Which I think I'll create another vlog on that, which will be about video game design, but that'll be a video for another time. So glossing over that, I went over to the Valencia campus branch of UNM in Los Lunas. So I came back up north from Socorro, and I went and studied for video game design for about 2 semesters. During which time, when I came back from Socorro, I completely moved when I left down to Socorro, and when I came back, I moved all my stuff back. And so basically, I was looking for a job, and so I ended up getting a wonderful opportunity working for the Pueblo of Isleta, working in the Management Information Services Department. And now you're probably thinking, like, what is that? Basically, I didn't even know what it was until they asked me to work for them. Essentially through an olive branch in a way. I was contacted through the Pueblo of Isleta's higher education department, and basically they're the ones that control all of the educational requirements for all of the Native American students that they provide funding for. And so they asked me if I would be interested in working in information technology position, like if I was willing to work in IT. And so I figured, well, it's not that far off from what I was already doing, and I figured it would be a good experience for me to gain that knowledge from the IT field. So I decided to do it, and I ended up working as a help desk technician, basically doing basic servicing for computers, software and hardware troubleshooting, and I ended up loving it. It was a great experience for me, and so I kind of found a newfound passion for IT, and so that's what I'm going for now. And so I switched my degree again from game design to information technology, and so that's what I go for part-time now. And I work full-time. I initially was working under contract for the Pueblo of Isleta, so once that contract ended, I also had a certification in lifeguarding, so that's what I took up after the fact. And so I worked at still under the same entity, but I worked for the Aquatic Center. Basically, it's a extension of the rec center that we have for the Pueblo Basada. So I worked there for 6 months, and then after that, I ended up taking up another job with the Pueblo of Sandia, which is a tribe farther north of Albuquerque. Basically, it was a longer drive, but ended up being a better opportunity for me in the end. And so I'm still there now. Been there for about, going to be coming up now on 5 months. So I enjoy it. It's a different aspect from computers, obviously, but it pays the bills for what I do here and there. So that basically sums up like who I am and what I'm doing. I'm sure you've heard the rumble in the background. That's basically my car. Drive a 2014 Mustang. Done some modifications on that. Probably another video where I discuss that about cars and stuff. A good question that like popped in my head before I even started recording this thing was, why would you want to do this? And I think it has to do a lot with what my friend that showed me, one of my best friends, Steven, he told me, he goes, we should start a vlog, or I should start a vlog. And I was just like, why? And he was just like, he goes, I think it would be a good idea to record yourself to have something in the future to show like your growth as a person in the end. And I ended up liking that idea, and I kind of had an interest in video production and editing, like video editing when I was in high school. I used to do actually like some, like, because I obviously had an interest in video games. I used to actually like record gameplay when I was, mostly I'd play like first-person shooters, like your basic Call of Duty games. Back when I started playing, World at War was the biggest thing then. And so I didn't get hardcore into the gaming scene though until I got Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, I think I still have that game for the Xbox 360, and I think I put about a month's worth of online gameplay into that game. So I used to actually take the video that I used to play from there, and I used to edit it and put it on YouTube, which is where this video is going to end up. And I'll just create a different playlist for this vlog on there. And so like I kind of wanted to get back to that those roots of why I got interested in like video games and video at all. When I was in high school, I actually used to be the like the news anchor type of a deal. We used to have like a daily news type of a thing where when I was a freshman, because I did it all 4 years, when I was a freshman, I actually they used to do similar to like what I'm doing now, which is they used to record us, and we used to have a script, and we'd read off that script, and basically somebody would edit that video, and at the end of the day, everybody, most of the teachers were on board for it, unless they were like hardcore sticklers to education. They would put it on like these really old school TV sets, and they used to broadcast it over the school. And so that was kind of like my first taste of video production, besides like my own like in-home type of stuff. And so I did that for all 4 years, and after a while our school went under construction. I went to Las Lunas High School, which is a public school here, which is like, again, like I mentioned before, it was south of where I grew up, and so like it was the closest district to where kids from where I lived. You could either go north and go to Rio Grande Public High School, or you could go south and you could go to Las Lunas, or even go farther south and go to like Belen. But I chose to go to Las Lunas. That's where my mom ended up putting me, and so that's taking their kids there, and we're like, oh yeah, I remember that classroom still being there, and that same teacher still sitting in that same chair. So it went under renovation, and during that time period, we didn't have any like broadcasting for video. So the next best thing that we did was actually like broadcast our voice over the intercom. And so like I kind of have that like projected voice. I hope it comes across, because I know my car is kind of loud. But and I kind of liked speaking like that and getting to talk to people, even if it was just something as simple as telling me what was going on in the school. So that's kind of where my interest in video comes from. So that's a little bit about me. I think I'll save some more topics for a different video. I plan on doing these hopefully every day, and I don't know how often I'll be able to upload them, but just when I get some spare time. Hopefully you enjoyed this little talk about me, and maybe leave some suggestions for me in the comments below, and maybe I'll talk about them in the next video, or I'll come up with something. So until then, have a good day, stay safe, live wild.